1250 WTMA.
You're listening to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com.
Welcome back, folks, to the last few minutes of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show here on the Big Talker, 1250 WTMA and WTMA.com. Just a reminder that I'm live in the studio today. The number to call with, about 8 or so minutes left is 843-556-1250, 843-556-1250. Or, of course, you can just sit back, relax, and listen to Brian talk about the real estate market, which I know some of you found fun and interesting, and I'm glad you do because, obviously, real estate's a passion of mine. And I appreciate you tuning in this Saturday or Sunday, which this show repeats on Sundays at 11. Now, I want to talk about, if you're a seller right now, what's the mentality that you should adopt in order to sell your home for top dollar? Because there's so many, again, going back to what I said at the very beginning of the show, you've got a few different types of folks out there. The majority of them are not in a position where they have to do something right now, right? So they have time to plan. They have time to wait. They have time to try and time the market. But if you're a seller right now, in my opinion, waiting or delaying could cost you some big bucks. I tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go to Sam on the phone. Sam, welcome to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
Fantastic. And you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Had a quick question for you. I just started tuning in, so I'm not sure exactly where you're at on the show, but I had a buddy of mine here locally that's thinking about listing for sale by owner. Trying to talk him out of it. I feel like it's not the move. I'm a longtime listener, so wanted to find out your thoughts on how to convince someone that maybe that's not the best route.
Great question. And, when the market was really hot, frankly, selling for sale by owner wasn't a bad idea. There was so much demand that you could pretty easily save yourself some money and still have people fight over your property and pocket that difference. I mean, Sam, I'm going to assume that the main reason why he wants to sell for sale by owner is to save commission.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that that's very common. The challenge with that is, first of all, I guess, Sam, is the property on the market now, or is it just something he's considering doing?
No, he's like painting and whatnot, but he's definitely going to sell it.
Okay. And this would probably be a question for him, but a lot of for sale by owners, especially if this is his first time trying this, what I find is that they don't spend enough time educating themselves on the process or on the contracts or on the disclosures that they're required to fill out and provide buyers. They can get themselves into a lot of trouble, but there are plenty of savvy folks out there that have the ability to market and sell their home on their own with the help of a real estate attorney or maybe an agent as a transaction broker. But the reality is this: 85% of people are represented by a real estate agent. So if the seller, your friend, isn't going to offer compensation to a buyer agent, he's cutting out 85% of the market, just statistically. Next, we're left with, all right, well, if a buyer isn't using a real estate agent, why? Because it doesn't cost them anything. Well, it could be because they're a savvy investor, because there are plenty of buyers out there that will say, hey, I'm not represented by an agent. They'll call a listing agent and say, hey, can you show me the property? I want to make an offer. Great. Okay. Hey, by the way, since I don't have an agent, there's no commission that a buyer agent would earn, which means I can purchase the property for 3% less, which is usually about what a buyer agent earns. Well, if you're going to sell your home for sale by owner and the objective is to save commission, make more money on the sale, and you have a majority of people that understand that you're not paying a buyer agent commission or a listing agent commission, they're just going to deduct that commission from the purchase price so that they get a better deal. Now, it might help you sell your home faster, but you're not going to make any more money. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. No, that absolutely makes sense.
I think the other thing to recognize is that, especially in a market like this, where we're for the first time in a decade, prices are going to start going down, right? Demand is going down rather than going up. It's a tougher environment to sell real estate in general. And anything will sell if you lower the price enough. But basically, the number one goal that sellers have when they sell property is to make the most money possible. Right. And in order for that to happen, I think you need a good, high quality, experienced professional that has a track record of helping people sell in a market like this. Because again, we haven't seen a market like this in at least a decade. So if you're working with an agent that's a few years in the business, they've not seen a market like this. Not to say they can't do it. They're just not as experienced as someone that has seen a market like this and can use that experience to their advantage. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I'll let him know, Brian. And maybe after we hang up here, I can give you a call and we can figure out some way to connect you guys, because I appreciate it. He's out there. He's losing his mind, in my opinion. So I'll try to connect you guys and maybe you can help him out. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I will help him as much as I can if he really does truly want to sell for sale by owner. I've got a guide that I can provide him with and some disclosures that I can provide him with just as a way of helping. But I think it would be advantageous for him to, at least have a chat with me so that I can help him understand what he can expect, what he should be doing, the contracts, the ways in which buyers can sometimes take advantage of sellers, and then the disclosures that he's required to fill out. That's a big one that can get people in a lot of trouble if they just don't know. Ignorance is not a great fail-safe for something like a real estate transaction.
Yeah, you got that right. Thank you, Brian.
Well, thanks for calling in, Sam. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And, I think that just about does it for us here at the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. I was going to get into, if I'm a seller right now, what are some things that I'd be doing, considering mentality that I would take on. And if you're thinking about selling, 2.4% commission, by the way, give me a call, 843-800-0065, and we can talk through that. I'll mention it on the next show. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show. You guys enjoy your weekend.
Join us for another edition of the Brian Beatty Real Estate Show next Saturday morning at 9 and Sunday morning at 10. Contact Brian Beatty online at listingsincharleston.com. That's listingsincharleston.com. Or call him at 843-400-8009. That's 843-400-8009.